Alright, Billy Nitro. Hey guys, here we are today. What we're going to do today, we're going to do a little diff maintenance, and we're going to build the diffs on the RC8B3, and this is pretty much a general build for all 8th scale, whether it's truggy or buggy diffs. So this is pretty much a rule of thumb across the board, but this is specifically for the B3. This is the V1 diffs. These diffs, they have about almost 2 gallons on them, a little more than they should when on your new diffs. You're supposed to run them for about an hour of run time, and then change them, change the fluid. That way everything's breaking in, and you don't want no metal shavings in in case you get some metal shavings in your fluid, or the finish kind of wears off the gears here. So that'll change the color of the diff fluid, and you'll see when we crack this one open. So we're going to get to this. We're going to try to keep the time down, do this fast as possible, and we're going to build this diff. The tools you will need is a 2mm, pair of needle nose. You'll need some grease. I'm using the green slime, Team Associated green slime, and you'll need your diff fluid, which I'm doing the kit setup here. This is how the kit recommends it. It was got 10K in my center diff, and 10K in the front, 7 in the back. So I'm just going to put that back in there. I may lower that once I get this thing on the track. Probably go down to about 7 in the front. But anyways, let's get to this. So we're going to crack this one open. I've already got the screws out of it. And we're going to show you what you do when you're changing your diff fluid, in case you're new to this. This is mainly for the guys that's probably maybe purchased one of these kits used, or maybe you're just getting into it. Because I was looking for a video like this when I was building mine, because it was the first time I'd built an 8th scale off-road car. So I couldn't find anything on it, so I'm going to make my own video. So this is the first time cracking this open after, like I said, it's got almost 2 gallons in it, or through the car. So there's our fluid there, and as you'll see here, it's gray. It's from the finish wearing off of the gears here, but I'm very pleased with the fluid in these diffs. I expected it to be a lot darker, but everything's the gears look great in them. No wear points or anything on them. No major wear in it. Can't really tell there's any wear at all. So that's good. So what you want to do when here comes the helicopter. So what you want to do when you're changing your fluid, get everything out on a paper towel here, and shake this. Get as much as you can out of it. You're not going to get it all out. This silicone stuff is some major stuff. Best thing to do is put it down like that. So you can see it here. Just put it down like that and let it set for at least about 5 hours. It'll run out into the paper towel. And once you get all your fluid out of there, you can also just take this paper towel in there, a dry one, good dry one, then put it down, face down, and that'll soak the fluid out of there and let it set. It's best to let it set overnight. That's the best way. That's how this one has been done. So get all your gear, your planet gears here, your shims, and just put them out on the paper towel and wipe them off good. If you don't have any metal shavings or dirt in your diffs, it don't matter if there's a little bit of residue of your old diff fluid on here. If you have metal shavings, if you broke a tooth or whatever, you may want to wash the gears off in some dish soap or something that'll cut grease and stuff. this, just wipe this off. See here, see if it'll pop off here. Pop that off. Just wipe it off. We're just doing a simple fluid change here, so there's nothing major to this. We'll set that down. I'll end up letting that set probably till tomorrow. We're going to build this one. In the interest of time, I'm trying to keep this on a hurry here. So this is what I did on my, and I would recommend this on your diff cups. Piece of sandpaper between like 240 or 280 sandpaper, 280 to 600. Get you a it's best to do this on a glass table or really hard flat piece of wood. Put your sandpaper down and go over just even pressure on your diffs, your diff cups, and sand this edge right here flat, because it'll have some kind of have the molded kind of wrinkly finish on there from the mold, but this will smooth that out. You'll get a better seal up to your ring gear here. Just do that until you get it smooth all the way across. You don't want to do much, just enough to get it all perfectly flat. That'll help you seal your diffs. You don't have to do that, but I would recommend it. These diffs were put together with no shims. I've seen on the message boards that one of the guys at AE recommend with these V1s to not even use shims, but I had one of them leaking. One of them was leaking, so I'm going to put the shims in it this time. Or not the shims, the gaskets. So I'm going to install the gaskets this time, but that's that. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this diff here. I've already got the pin down here, but you'll see how that goes together here in just a minute. We want to straighten our pin out down there. And we'll take our sun gear. This is our sun gear. Planet gears. Planet goes around the sun. So the big one is your sun gear. Drop that down there. It'll fit right into that. Pin will fit right into that slot. So got that. What I do, well, this is the rear, so we're building the rear here. So we're going to go with 7,000 on this one. Go ahead and drop you, fill your cup up just over top of your sun gear here. That way that'll be soaking in there, down in, and now we will put our planet gears together here. Put both of those on. And the instructions recommend 2 shims. Now, the updated version. This come with my kit. The instructions in the kit, the actual kit says you use 1 shim. The updated version here kind of says to put 2. So that's what we're going to do, and I've found that it does work better. One on each side there. Now we're going to add another one. Now if you get your gears to your diffs together and you twist them and you have a real clunky feeling, you'll know when you got it. It's just real clunky when you turn them back and forth. You can remove a shim, and that may help. May need to add one. It just depends. You just kind of trial and error, but usually you'll need to remove one. It's usually how that goes. Get these together here. These shims are super thin, so double check to make sure you have 2 on each side. that one, 2 on that one. Okay. Now we've got our fluid down there. Drop your first one in, it'll set down into that fluid. That way, if you don't have any fluid in there, you're not waiting to have to drain all that fluid down to make it down to the bottom. Add a little more. And we set that down there. You can see there. Work that fluid down in there. Now we're going to fill her up, let that set. Just set that right here. Now, while I'm waiting on that to settle down in the cup there, we're going to build our output shaft. Now we have a black O-ring there. That's on there. We want to put some grease on that. Just helps seal everything up and keep that, it'll protect that O-ring. Got that lubed up. Now your bearing. I always put my steel face out, put the blue seal facing in. Put our other O-ring, or clear O-ring. I put a little grease on this too. It just helps with the sealing. Bearing fell off. Gotta be careful with this bearing. You will forget. You don't want to have to redo this. So now we put our output shaft through here. Wipe that grease out of there. Doesn't matter if you have a little bit of this grease inside here. Now we put our shims. We have 2 shims here. They're smaller than the other, for the planet gears. These are a little bit smaller. You can tell that they've been heated up a little bit because they're turned blue. So they've had some heat. And they get their heat from this pin right here. And this is where your needle nose come into play. Find your hole in your output shaft. There we go. There's that. Let's see, get it on camera. There we go. Now we put our other sun gear on top of that. And we have that assembled. Looks like our fluid is settled. Just a little bit more. You don't have to get this where it's overflowing out. I don't. I like to leave a little room in there for play, for expansion. Find my gasket. Paper gasket here. Now here's another tip that you'll want to do. Put some grease on your gasket. That way you can reuse your gasket when you take your diffs apart for maintenance, to change fluid or whatever. If you don't, grease this, or you can use diff fluid to put on it too, but I tend to use the grease because it seals better. Wipe this off. Now stick this on here. Like I said, I had these built without these gaskets, and they pretty much all but one of them was kind of leaking. It wasn't even bad. Take that, stick her down in there. Now we screw them together. Trying to do this quick because we are already at 15 minutes. Dang. You'll want to, when you're tightening your screws up, you want to do it in a cross pattern. Tighten this one, and go here to here. Just like you're putting tighten lug nuts on a car. In the interest of time, I'm just going to leave those other two screws out for the moment. Now, just let's see here. Up here. Oh yeah. Feel good.